Hey guys, it's Emma here, and I have week 3 of my Christmas book advent calendar. So I've really been enjoying this. Let's just get straight into it. So it would have been day 12, Sunday. I got this book, which is Fatal Voyage by Kathy Reichs. I think that's how you pronounce that name. And the blurb says, when a plane crashes high in the mountains of North Carolina, Temperance Brennan is one of the first on the scene. As a forensic anthropologist for the state, she serves on the region's disaster response team. The task that confronts her is a sad and sickening one. Putting normal life on hold, Temp and her colleagues must painstakingly identify the victims. A chance discovery concerns her, a severed foot, well away from the main crash site. A deserted house close by is buried so deep in the woods that locals claim to know nothing of its existence, and her examination of the foot throws up more questions than answers. Before she can make any progress, Temp's professional standing is threatened, but she fears that, air tragedy aside, another corpse lies somewhere in the woods. Pitting herself against a conspiracy of silence, Temp vows to bring justice for her mystery victim. So that was my book for Sunday. So then we've got the next one, which would have been the 13th, it's Monday, and it's this, which is The Remorseful Day by Colin Dexter. It says in the back here, the murder of Yvonne Harrison had left Thames Valley CID baffled. A year after the dreadful crime, they are still no nearer to making an arrest, but one man has yet to tackle the case, and it is just the sort of puzzle at which Chief Inspector Morse excels. So why is he adamant that he will not lead the reinvestigation, despite the entreaties of Chief Superintendent Strange and dark hints of some new evidence? And why, if he refuses to take on the case officially, does he seem to be carrying out his own private inquiries? For Sergeant Lewis, this is yet another example of the unsettling behaviour his chief has been displaying of late. So this is one of the Inspector Morse books. It says it's the final one. I've never read an Inspector Morse book, I don't think. But hey, first time for everything, and hopefully these are kind of standalone and I won't need to know anything much about it. But yeah, that is book 13. So then Tuesday, book 14, is A Place of Safety by Carolyn Graham. When ex-vicar Lionel Lawrence opens his rambling rectory to a stream of young offenders, he has no idea the consequences will include blackmail and murder. But Chief Inspector Barnaby is sure he knows who's behind the worrying disappearance of Lionel's latest protege, a defiantly elusive suspect whom he's convinced is the incarnation of evil. So yeah, that is also a TV one, because it's featuring Chief Inspector Barnaby as seen in TV's Midsummer Murders. So yeah, cool. And then the next one would be the 15th. I really should mark these down. 15th is Wednesday, and it's a Tess Gerritsen one, Gravity. So I have read this one before. I don't own it. It might be on my Kindle. I've definitely read it before, but it is a good one, I think. I reread the blurb and I was like, oh, it sounds really good, so I'm going to give it another read. I don't know if I'll keep it or not, but I'm definitely going to give it another read. You can never go wrong with a Tess Gerritsen book. I have her series of Rizzoli and Isles books on my Kindle. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 have come out that I don't have yet, but yeah, I really like her books. So this is not a bad one to get, even if I have already read it. So it says, Dr. Emma Watson, a brilliant research physician, has been training for the mission of a lifetime, to study living organisms in space. Jack McCallum, Emma's estranged husband, has shared her dream of space travel, but a medical condition has grounded him. Now he must watch from the sidelines. The mission aboard the space station turns into a nightmare when a culture of single-celled organisms begins to regenerate out of control and infects the crew with agonising and fatal results. Emma struggles to contain the deadly microorganism, while back home Jack and NASA work against the clock to bring her home. But there will be no rescue. With a contagion now threatening Earth, the astronauts are quarantined in space, where they are dying one by one. So to me, this is kind of more horror sounding than the other ones. Again, I think these are mostly crime books, but hey, I keep complaining about that every video, but I still think they sound good, so you know, I should stop complaining. And then we've got Thursday's book, which was the 16th, and it is Q is for Quarry by Sue Grafton. And it says, she was a Jane Doe, an unidentified white female whose decomposed body was discovered near a quarry off California's Highway 1. The case fell to the Santa Teresa County Sheriff's Department, but the detectives had little to go on. The woman was young, her hands were bound with a length of wire, there were multiple stab wounds, and her throat had been slashed. After months of investigation, the murder remained unsolved. That was 18 years ago. Now the two men who found the body, both nearing the end of long careers in law enforcement, want one last shot at the case, and they turn to Kinsey Mulhone to help them find closure. Kinsey is intrigued and agrees to the job. But revisiting the past can be a dangerous business, and what begins with a pursuit of Jane Doe's real identity ends in a high-risk hunt for her killer. So, Q is for Quarry. This is also a series of books. It's a Kinsey Mulhone mystery, and I looked inside, and it does have all the other ones, so it is literally the alphabet, which I thought was kind of cool. So these are the other ones, if you can see that there. There's like A is for the, B is for the... It's like learning the alphabet, but like murdery crime style. A is for alibi, B is for burglar, C is for corpse, D is for deadbeat. Like, it's quite fun actually. So when I give this one a read, if I'm into it, I might look up the other ones and go through the alphabet. I'm not sure, we'll see. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of fun. So that was a book for Thursday, I think. Yep. And then yesterday's book, which was for the 17th, which was for Friday, is A Death Divided by Claire Francis. And it says, Joe, struggling to survive his job in a high-powered law firm, is faced with the challenge of finding his childhood friend Jenna, who has been missing for 4 years. But has she disappeared through choice? Or is she under the powerful influence of her husband, the restless, troubled Chetwood? For Joe, the search is a matter of duty, but also of conscience, for he introduced them to each other. He was enthralled by them both. Helped by his prickly girlfriend Sarah, Joe manages to find the beautiful, faded Jenna, only to realise too late that he has set some terrible events in motion. I kind of feel like that's giving away a big plot point, but never mind, maybe it's much more than that. But anyway, yeah, so that is Friday's book. I think this is maybe also part of a series, but I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But yeah, so that was Friday's book. And now it is Saturday the 18th. So I've got my book for the 18th to open. So here we go. Let's just open it together and see what we've got. Ta-da! Okay, so we've got The Babes in the Wood by Ruth Rendell. And I think, again, it's maybe a series of books, because it says Chief Inspector Wexford is Ruth Rendell's most enduring and best creation. So this is probably, again, a book series about this Chief Inspector. So it says, there hadn't been anything like this kind of rain in living memory. The River Braid had burst its banks, and not a single house in the valley had escaped the flooding. In the midst of all this, 2 teenagers, Giles and Sophie Dade, and Joanna Troy, the woman who had been looking after them, have vanished. The Sub-Aqua Task Force could find no trace of them, but Mrs. Dade was still convinced her children were dead. The investigation would call into question many of Wexford's assumptions about the way people behaved, including his own family. And I have a feeling I already got a Wexford one in one of the previous books, that, like maybe the last video. I'm sure there was it said like the new Wexford mystery or whatever on the bottom. So yeah, that is today's one, the 18th. So that is my week 3 of my book advent calendar. Again, they all sound really good. They're all ones that if I picked them up in a charity shop, I would probably get them and give them a read. So I'm excited to get into them. I finished one of them actually that was, I think, in last week's video, and it's set around Christmas time. I think it's called Kiss of Evil. Go back and check. But yeah, I just read that one and it was good. So I'm really chuffed. I have another Christmas one that I got, I think, last week as well, a Dean Koontz one, and I haven't started that yet, but I'll probably give that a read in the next week or so too. So yeah, that is it for this one, guys. Because next Saturday is Christmas Day, I will not be doing the video then, so what I'll do is do it a couple of days later, like Boxing Day or the day after. I'll put that one up with what I get in the next week leading up to Christmas, because that'll be the last week, because it's just the 24 books. So the last one I'll get on Christmas Eve, next Friday, and I'll open it up and see what I get. But yeah, again, I have enjoyed this one. I still don't think it's very horror, the books I've got. They're more crime, but I do still like them. I think they all sound really good. So it's win-win for me. I don't mind at all. Anyway, any comments, leave them down below. Share it with your friends. Give it a thumbs up. And I will catch you next time, guys. Bye!